for being the ever vigilant advocates and supporters of this legislation that we have put together in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And we will hopefully on Tuesday have a ceremonial signing of the bill into law. The actual piece of legislation has already been signed, and so as of July 1, it will be the law of the Commonwealth of Virginia that all persons, regardless of your age, there will be an alert available that will go out amongst law enforcement in the case of a missing person on the autism spectrum. The Commonwealth situation was that it was just for children before. As you know, there was a gap in which Jamile kind of fell between that and then the Ashanti bill that said that even if you were an adult, you have to have known that the individual was abducted. So there was a gap between what our Commonwealth's law actually said. So I was happy to sponsor the bill this year that would close that loophole. And I still remember standing there with Sean at the service, the viewing back last year, in which standing there, Sean said, something has got to be done. You got to do something. And so we immediately got busy trying to do something about what needed to be done. And fortunately, there were 99 other members of the House of Delegates and 40 members of the Senate who agreed.
Yes.
And so
no opposition.
Passed the House, passed the Senate, and then signed by the governor. And so, again, I believe on this coming Tuesday, we're going to gather at the governor's office for this bill signing. Unfortunately, under COVID, there are a limited number of people who can actually be in the room at the time, and so they're limiting us on that. And so I've been in communication with Sean, and we'll have that ceremony publicly on the signing of the bill. But while we were waiting on the signing of the bill, we thought it was important, not only in the form of legislation, but that the entire General Assembly, while we were doing the work of passing legislation and laws, et cetera, that we also would pause to remember her contributions in life. And so not only the law itself that has been changed, but forever in the records of the General Assembly, Jamile will be remembered. That's what this memorial resolution actually is. It's actually legislation in the form of legislation, and 100 members of the House have signed this in order to make it so. And it just simply says House Joint Resolution 689, celebrating the life of Jamile Hill, agreed to by the House of Delegates on February 4th, 2021, agreed to by the Senate on February the 11th, 2021. Whereas Jamile Hill, a beloved member of the Chesapeake community who inspired many through her boundless joy and determination to succeed, died on October 19th, 2020. And whereas Jamile Hill overcame physical and mental health challenges throughout her life to become a shining example of what one can achieve through hard work and belief in oneself. And whereas Jamile Hill attended Chesapeake Public Schools and Rivermount School while growing up and ultimately earning an associate's degree in social sciences from Tidewater Community College, posting a 3.7 grade point average and graduating magna cum laude. And whereas an engaged citizen who was committed to making a difference, Jamile Hill was active with the Chesapeake Democratic Committee and proudly campaigned on behalf of President Barack Obama. And whereas Jamile Hill was a child care provider at the YMCA of Southampton Roads, working hard to ensure that the children in her ward were safe and entertained every time they visited. And whereas Jamile Hill mentored 6 children with special needs, using her own triumphs as motivation for them to trust in their abilities and to strive to achieve their dreams. And whereas an accomplished athlete with Special Olympics Virginia, Jamile Hill won several medals over the years in basketball, track and field, roller skating, and ice speed skating, while bravely participating in the organization's polar plunge even 10 years in a row. And whereas in response to Jamile Hill's untimely passing, legislation was introduced to expand the criteria for the Virginia Missing Person with Autism Alert program, helping to make the Commonwealth safer for all. And whereas Jamile Hill will fondly be remembered and dearly missed by her parents, Sean, Dennis Sr., Melvin Jr., Clarence, and Tawanda, her siblings, Imani, Nia, Camry, and Tylen, and numerous other family members and friends. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the House of Delegates, the Senate concurring, that the General Assembly hereby note with great sadness the loss of Jamile J. Hill, a cherished member of the Chesapeake community whose unwavering optimism and kindness touched countless lives, and be it further resolved that the clerk of the House of Delegates prepare a copy of this resolution for presentation to the family of Jamile Hill as expression of the General Assembly's respect for her memory. The patrons of the bill, yours truly, Cliff Hayes, Delegate Don Adams, Delegate Betsy Carr, Delegate Cole, Delegate Converse Fowler, Delegate Delaney, Delegate Heretic, Delegate Hope, Corey, McQuinn, Rasul, Reed, Scott, Simons, and Ware. And then on the Senate side, Senate patrons were Senator Bosco, Senator Janet Howell, Senator Dave Marsden, Senator Reeves, and Senator Lionel Spruill. This will forever be in the records of the General Assembly, remembering Jamile Hill. And I'm just so excited today to be here, and I just got a surge of rejuvenation, if you will, as I listened to your mom, Sean, as she talked about the time that we have here, for us to make best use of that time and not allow a minute to go by that we're not doing things to contribute positively, not only for ourselves, but for others around us. And Jamile's life and what she did in mentoring and helping other people did just that. And if you don't mind, I'll just share that Dr. Benjamin Mays wrote that poem, 1 minute. And he said, I have only but a minute, only 60 seconds in it. It's forced upon me, can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. Give an account if I abuse it, but only a tiny little minute, but eternity is in it. And so it's important for us to model our lives after Jamile, who didn't waste her time when it came to making sure that we give back to other people and cultivating a community.
That's right.
She cared about other people. Whatever she learned, she was willing to impart it with other people. And so we want to remember her contributions in every way, being civic-minded as well. You heard me read the part about her helping out with the local Democratic Committee as well as working campaigns. And I've benefited from her work in working the polls and so forth and so on. And so she's just a perfect example of what we need to be, and be reminded that there are some people who carve pathways so that we as a country can benefit from the many freedoms that we enjoy. And we shouldn't take that for granted.
Amen.
That we ought to also contribute civically, whether that be the neighborhood civic league, or whether that means contributing to, and being a part of campaigns, and especially getting out and voting ourselves. This democracy, this example that we have in this country, is the greatest experiment of democracy in the world. And it's important that we also not only look at what the country says that it is to be, but to make sure that the country is what was written it was supposed to be. And we do that by participating.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll forever remember Jamile in that.
And next we go federal.
And then, of course,
next we're going
next
federal.
we go federal. So whatever I can do, I've been in contact with Congressman Bobby Scott that represents this district, this area, the 3rd district. And he's looking and gathering documentation, etc. And we're going to work along with him and do everything we can to make that federal legislation to address the need for an alert as well.
For autism and for intellectual disability.
So it won't just be about in the Commonwealth,
right,
but beyond our borders here in the Commonwealth of Virginia as well.
Can I get a picture of you and Sean holding that together?
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know if you were done, but
somebody, it's still on Zoom.
okay.
One thing you don't do, don't give a preacher